So why green building? Mainly because this is a report from the UN Intergovernmental Panel for Climate Change. It uses an average of 12% land use, 25% of water use, and 25% of solid waste that's generated, and 30% raw materials, and this includes 25% of wood harvest. As we know, a lot of our rainforest has been harvested, and we try to be careful on not depleting like everything. And buildings also has a 40% energy use, and in here, it's in the 30% carbon emissions are from buildings. And this just shows you actually that's because of this, again, from the report, that if we do buildings, if we green buildings, it's our largest potential for reducing greenhouse gas emissions. So it's also, it also totals the other areas like energy, because if we have green buildings, the energy supply will be less. The industry who's making the materials will produce more environmental sensitive materials. So again, the green building affects a lot of sectors, as shown in the graph. So, okay, rating tools, what's available? And as presented earlier, there's BREEAM from UK, there's Green Star from Australia, CASB from Japan, Green Mark Singapore, LEED USGBC, and actually we've seen, lately we've seen more and more buildings that's getting registered for LEED. And what do we have here in the Philippines? Now we're creating BERDE. So why do we need to create another yet rating tool? Like I explained earlier, because all these environmental laws, all these policies we have, and the unique situation, unique climate in the Philippines and culture, we need to create something that will work for us. Meaning, I'm a LEED accredited professional, but I know 2 years ago, coming back here, I know families here would be totally different or mainly different from the US because of the difference in climate and difference in culture. And actually, I'm advocating actually more that we need to localize the rating system that works for everybody and that everybody is common to everybody, and using, again, local consultants, because I think we have a bunch of experts in this room and outside that we can really depend on. Okay, BERDE. So how does BERDE then answer to all this environmental laws, the policies we have? The answer that could be a tool for policy development. Well, land, probably we can start with not building on areas where it's disaster prone, like earthquakes or floods, which avoided, and landslide areas. So we need to stay away from disaster prone areas. Maybe that's a start. Water. Again, although I bought a lot of water, but I think that we need to manage in terms of, I guess, the green building. Maybe we need to catch, maybe we need to do a rainwater harvesting to catch water, or handle runoff during rainy season. But I think architect Max will be going into details on this later on. He's trying to tell you what BERDE is all about. I'm just going through here a list of how these elements of BERDE can help in the policy making. Energy, again, everybody's on it. We need to reduce energy consumption of buildings, not just buildings, but almost anything. Transportation. Yes, buildings can affect this by encouraging the location of buildings that has public transportation in place. So again, it just cross the line going to transportation, because buildings do affect how we move about. indoor environmental quality, and one of us here, she's a doctor, and I guess in buildings we need to address as well, not just for the indoor air quality that we breathe inside, but also the visual. You can see daylight, you can see it outside, so it helps actually the workers inside the building feel better. Materials. This is a true story. When I came back here 2 years ago, I was asking what's green materials available in the Philippines, and I always been stumped with that because most of it were green materials that are coming from are imported, and there are local green materials, but they don't really market them as such because it's been perceived as a low quality material. So we need to change that thinking that local green materials are low quality. Emission, let's go inside of all of this. If we reduce everything, the emission, the carbon emission will be less. Waste, again, we try to lessen the waste that's generated in buildings, not just during construction, but also during operation of buildings. And heritage conservation, we've been under the Americans and the Spaniards longer, so we have this older buildings that has been there for a while. So it means it's sustainable because it's been there. And not only that, also we also need to look at the culture we have here. Like for example, I think that Usher is more very common coming from other countries coming in here is the international airport. You go in there, you see people outside waiting for the loved ones to come in. But then again, our airports are built like the Western, so there's really no space for them for waiting for the loved ones. So this again, when we design as well too, we need to also not think Western, but how we behave as Filipinos, how we do things